This video will cover the first strategy in the list, which is the advanced retracement strategy line. So before we look at the strategy itself, let's look at the indicators that make up the strategy. So the first one is the trend retracement trades. So I'm going to load that one up. Now in essence what the retracement does is it will plot a certain value, and that value I've got on here as 100 in this demonstration, and we can select the painting bars. There's a few different parameters that you can actually adjust over here, but how you see it there is fine to use. You can just change the retracement value to whatever you want. So let's make it 80 in this example. So I'll apply that. So what's going to happen every single time the price retraces 80 ticks, it's going to draw this line and it's going to draw an arrow down, and it's going to give you a number on that line to tell you how many ticks away from the retracement point where it started the bar is at the moment. So if you go back on the chart, it's not going to show you the previous lines, it will only show you the last line that has been drawn. Now I do have a right side margin on here of 180. If you right click on the chart and go your properties, you'll be able to add your right hand margin, and this will just help to show the number. Okay, so that is the indicator itself, and it's going to do exactly that. It's going to paint an arrow and color the bars when that retracement is fulfilled. The next indicator that makes up the strategy is the strategy line. So let's go and add that one. Okay, so strategy line. Okay, so with this indicator, it also has a setting there that you can select. So I'm going to select 100 in this example and apply that. It's got a confirmation bar setting, so it's basically a moving average indicator, and if I just move it over slightly to the side, we can look at what that moving average or that confirmation bar setting actually does. So it's going to draw the momentum line, which is basically the strategy line, the moving average, and when 3 confirmation bars have passed, the signal will actually change. So if you notice here, it has a 100 moving average, and the bars are still red because 3 bars haven't gone above the line. Now if I go and change this to 1, it will paint those bars. So in the automated strategy, if you have it selected to 1, it's going to enter a position over there, enter a position over there. So it's going to buy, sell, buy, sell, buy, sell, and then eventually be in the sell trend. So it's important to select the confirmation bars, and I found 3 to be a good number. So that just ensures that when the price does come and touch the moving average, unless it really breaks through, it's still going to stay that same coloring going down. So that's the setting, the important setting on the strategy line. It's first of all what size moving average it is and how many confirmation bars. And then it's got a painting bars box, and that's basically the simplicity of this indicator. Now when we apply the indicators to the chart, we only have one of the indicators painting bars, and that is because NinjaTrader doesn't like it when multiple indicators are trying to paint bars on the chart. So just for looking at the indicator itself, I've selected paint bars, but in the strategy you'll notice that it's not going to be painted. Alright, so let's go and add the strategy now. I've already added it. Okay, so the top section, okay, so it's got a daily profit target and a daily loss. So you can fill those amounts in to whichever value you want, and what will happen is as soon as those amounts are hit, your trading for the day will actually stop on the strategy. Our indicator list, so the main indicator is the trend retracement trades in the strategy line, the two that we just looked at. So we're going to load the first one on our top chart and the second one on our bottom chart. So I'm going to put an 80 there. Auto start, I have it unselected. It's got the time slots in there. So if you want to trade specific trading hours, you can go and adjust those time slots. The strategy line settings, so settings if using strategy line as main indicator. So these settings are not going to be working when we're using the trend retracement trades as our main indicator. It's only this value here that's important when you select the trend retracement trades. So because we've got 3 confirmation bars, okay, that's another setting we'll use. That's okay. So we'll just select 80 as the amount there, and we're trading trend or reverse. So there's an option to trade reverse strategy and trend. So we're going to stick with trend. We attach it to that chart. We can do this on each tick. So when we're using the trend retracement trades indicator on the chart, we can use on each tick. And if we're using the strategy line, we have to use on bar close, but we'll go into that when we load that one up. So I've got 80 on there, and it's important to add slippage. So I've added 2 slippage so that previous painted history trades can actually show a little bit more accurately when we have a slippage built in there. I'm going to apply that, enable that. So I've got wait until flat synchronize. We can have immediately submit synchronize on that, and we can enable that and OK. So what it will do is it will basically plot the previous trades on the chart that it took. So these are all the points where the retracement of 80 has has painted. So those are all the previous trades that have entered. Okay, now if we want to activate the strategy right now, say we are in we've got we see that the price is below the 100 or below the strategy line, and we want to enter a position. So we can go and select start, and what that'll do is it'll immediately enter a position in the direction of the last retracement. Now I'm using playback on this just to really speed up the learning process. So I'm going to fast forward this, and you can see what it actually does. So there it has gone into a buy because we're in a buy. The price has retraced. There it is selling. So this, how it is now, it's only going to work on the retracement value. So as soon as the price retraces 80 ticks, it's going to enter a position. So this is just a number that I came up with. It's not obviously the best number to use, and it's just a random number that I've selected just so we can show you how the strategy takes positions. Alright, so say we're trading for the day and we want to exit our position, we want to finish off the day. We can go ahead and select pause, and that will close the position that's open and put the strategy in standby mode. There's also settings on the strategy that you can go long only, short only, or both. So if you're in a huge upwards trend and you only want to do long trades, you can select the long only button, and then the strategy will only enter long trades. So I'll speed that up again. So it'll immediately enter where you press start. So you'll notice that when it goes to a sell, so there, if it was on both, it will be selling now, but because we are trading long only, it's going to wait for the next long opportunity before it enters a position. So there we go, there was the next long opportunity and it entered a position, and that is what it's doing. So it's not going to take any sell positions in that state. If you want to switch it over to short only, you can do that on the fly. And that will convert it to only short positions. So the longs will pass, and then the shorts will execute. Okay, and then again, if we want to just close off the positions, we select the close or the pause button, and that'll put the strategy in standby. So that is how that strategy works. So go ahead and experiment with the different size retracements. So we worked on an 80 over there. So that is just showing you what will happen on an 80 retracement. Okay, perfect. So our next part of the strategy we'll add on this chart over here, and that will be the strategy line that we'll work with in this example. So we're using the strategy line. Retracement value is not going to be used in this instant. It's going to specifically work off the settings for the strategy line. So we've got strategy line sensitivity, that's the moving average, we have 100. Confirmation bars is 3. Now what I like to do is just so I can see which chart I've got the strategy loaded on, I like to put the confirmation bar count in the area where it says strategy line. So that will just I'll show you what that does in a moment. So we're checking our settings, we've got our confirmation bars, we've got our sensitivity, we're trading trend, and we're doing on bar close. So when you're doing the strategy line as the setting for the main indicator, work on bar close. If you work on each tick, what will happen is when the price gets to the moving average, it's going to enter multiple trades until that price takes direction. So we'll leave that on that, and we'll go immediately submit, apply, and OK. So let me just check something there. We've got the strategy. Okay, so what we've got to make sure we do, I'll just go back into the settings. So our advanced retracement, on bar close, I've got immediately submit. Let's just see, we might have to change this to wait until flat. On bar close. Okay. So what we do now, so it's got the setting there, so it says advanced retracement strategy line 3. So that means that I know I've got the strategy line strategy loaded on there, even though both the strategies got the same name on top. So when I see a larger number, I know I'm using an 80 retracement. When I've got a small number like 3, I know I'm using the confirmation bar, so I can quickly identify which strategy is which. Alright, so if I go and select the start, there we go. So so that's what an important thing to remember is when you load up the strategy line, make sure you have wait until flat synchronize account, not immediately submit. So the other one you can have immediately submit, the other variation, but not when using the strategy line. So on bar close, wait until flat synchronize are the settings on there, the main ones to remember. So there we have the strategy executing. Now what I'll do is I'll just fast forward this again, and we've only got the bottom chart trading at the moment, and it's only going to take trades after 3 confirmation bars have crossed this moving average line of ours. So there it didn't take a position. So if you notice, when the price just touched below this moving average over here, it didn't enter a sell because the confirmation bar count had not been fulfilled. But over here it did. So we've got 1, the bar that crossed is 1, 2 and 3. So after the third bar close, it's going to enter a position. And the same thing on the way up. So if I fast forward this again, there we go. So that is the functioning of the advanced retracement strategy. Now I've just used a 10-10 bar on both of these examples just so we can see a lot of entries and we can see it effectively. There would be some work that you can do by changing the bar size, changing the retracement levels, changing the size of the moving average. So all of these little things can be customized to better impact your trading, and you can actually come up with some really good numbers, start and pause the strategies as you go, and in that way you can become really expert at this specific strategy, and you'll find it to be very, very effective once you understand the key principles of it, and you understand how you can use it. And just by experimenting with a few different bar sizes, different size charts, you can even use this on the minute chart, you can use it on the hourly charts. So it's a really cool tool to use, and just one of the strategies that we have in our system. So hopefully that was helpful to you, and I'll be continuing the videos and discussing all these strategies in the system. Thank you.